Listen to this, it's all ready. Okay, awesome. All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Rose Luna with the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault. Thank you so much for joining us today. And please, I want to start by first apologizing profusely for this painfully slow process of getting these grants awarded. There is no other way for me to even explain that away. Again, I am so sorry about that. What we've done is talk to CJD, and they have promised that next year they will give us the application, months earlier so that we can avoid this tremendous delay, which I know is creating a hardship for you all. But what we're doing, we have an amazing SASP team that's separate from TAASA, some contractors, and you'll hear from Annette Burris-Clay. A lot of you are super familiar with Annette. She was the executive director at TAASA for over 18 years and was in the work for 30 years, so she knows the nuances, and we knew that there was no one better to handle this type of grant than Annette. So Annette is contracting with TAASA. She's the grant manager for this, and you'll hear from her in a second, and she'll as she starts the process and explains some of the expectations as we move through. We also have our finance contractor. His name is Finian, and he has already set up our bank ACH transfers. We're setting that up so that as soon as things are in and we're ready, that the money will be distributed out. Again, I absolutely understand the dire need for this to hurry up and go out, and we will do everything we can to get that out as soon as humanly possible, and also to avoid this in the future. So again, I thank you for your patience. I know that we don't deserve that patience. And again, working with CJD to make sure that we absolutely avoid this moving forward. So again, thanks a lot. And we are here for you. Again, we are committed to making this a seamless process. I know it doesn't seem that way now, but I promise you, moving forward, it is going to be much easier. We are going to take those steps to be in constant communication with you, and to have these types of discussions as the process goes on. So congratulations again to all of you here. You all will be receiving SASP money. I know that you've been in contact with Annette with the budgets and getting that together. She's done an amazing job, and I'm very thankful to Annette. And Curtis Mueller, who is staff person. He's pretty much our IT person handling and helping our Salesforce build to make sure that this is automated and the process that much more seamless. So with that, again, welcome and thank you. And I will pass this off to Annette.
Great. Hi, everybody. First of all, let me clarify, because Rose is an apologizer by nature, but the holdup has not been at TAASA, it's been at CJD. So she's actually apologizing for holdups for other people. A couple of things. Curtis is going to come on in a few minutes, and he's actually going to show you the screen of what it looks like to go in with your grant award number, how to do your FSR reimbursements, and how to make any kind of changes on your grant as well. But I wanted to talk about a couple of procedural things prior to that. Most of you have sent in your direct deposit form, your latest audit, your payee form, and your W-9, although there are still 3 programs who we not received it from. So you will not be able to apply for your reimbursements until we have all the forms in. So for those 3 programs that impacts, please get those in as soon as possible. Also, I would like to request that if you have any change in key personnel, and I think some of you may have already because some of the emails kicked back, to please send me a message at sasp@taasa.org so that we can make those changes, and we know when we're sending out notifications that it's getting to the right folks. I'd also like to request that if any of you have any kind of filter or anything on your web, on your emails where they don't allow you to receive group emails, that you go ahead and approve SASP at TAASA.org, and also abrosclay@gmail.org as allowable emails to get in, because I'm getting caught up in a couple of people's spam filters. So you know, if that's a situation, if you can make sure that you've set whatever those permissions are. And if you don't know how to do that, if you can ask Curtis, I'm sure he will be able to walk you through that. I would be just lost. So I'll let him explain that if y'all need that. A couple of things about the budget. So when you're turning in your SFRs, there's a couple of things. We don't need a ton of receipts. The exception to that is going to be travel. All travel except local travel. So if you're just, you know, it's just your mileage reimbursements that's been written in on your grant for, you know, your outreach folks or whatever to get to the hospital or meetings and those kinds of things. We don't need receipts for that. But any other travel, make sure you include a brief explanation in the notes section, and also upload all the applicable receipts. Probably once a year or so, we may ask people, we may spot check and ask for certain receipts, but right now, that's the only receipts that we routinely need. All uploads should be in a PDF unless we've otherwise instructed you for any reason. So please send a PDF, because we don't want to ever, you know, be accused of making a change on any documents that you've sent in. And I think you protect yourself if you send all those documents in a PDF. Also, when you get your contract, if you can get that back to us as soon as possible. We'd like it in 7 days, but within 7 days. Certainly, if you get it to us sooner, that's even better. But we definitely will need it prior to you submitting an SFR. So, you know, just remember, if you don't get that executed contract in, then your FSR is not going to be approved at that point. As far as the contracts, we were hoping that we would have them all out today. And Rose may end up getting an update while we speak, but at this point, I don't know if CJ's ever done it to you before, but it's not the first time they've done it to us. They've actually gave us the SASP contract to TAASA in 2 different awards. Only one of the 2 has come through to us, and that came through mid or late last week. So there's only, I think, 4 of the programs that are on the one that came through. The other one we were supposed to have by Friday, and as of, you know, Rose, a half hour ago, it still wasn't here.
Absolutely.
So she does have a couple of calls in to ask them why we're not seeing it up on e-grants yet. But, you know, be assured that she is on that. Generally, we want the FSRs to be submitted no later than the 15th of the month. Of course, the 15th of the month isn't going to happen this month because it's already the 8th and you don't even have your award letters. But you'll have 15 days from the day you receive your award letter to get those in. Unfortunately, there's some good things about TAASA managing this grant. But it also does add a layer. So we want to make sure that we have enough time to get our paperwork into CJD as well. So just remember not to submit your FSRs later than the 15th of the month. And even if you have a month where you had no expenses, so let's say you hadn't hired your SAS folks yet or whatever, you'll still need to submit an FSR for every month. You'll just need to do it with 0 totals. And then after you submit your FSR, allow 2 weeks for the reimbursement. I know the Prompt Payment Act allows for 30 days, but we will commit to getting that done within 2 weeks. I think frequently that will happen sooner, but 2 weeks is what we need you to allow us, because again, there's a contract accountant, and we're working on that person's schedule as well. Errors have to be collected before processing. So obviously errors will delay. So if you submitted it on the 3rd, but you didn't correct, we didn't let you know that there were errors to the 5th and you didn't correct them till the 8th, then your 2 weeks will start at the 8th, not on the 3rd. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Are there any questions so far? Because I don't want to rush through this. Are people muted, Curtis?
Yes, but they should be able to type in, and I'll let you know if anybody has anything.
Perfect. Okay. I also wanted to mention that we have reviewed your budgets for unallowable costs, but if anything got through that we didn't notice, and that's mostly going to be excessive overhead. So if you put in, you're wanting to pay for 50% of your audit, for instance, and this is only 13% of your budget, that would be an example of excessive overhead. Or if it's not sexual assault specific, then please remember this is not going to be an allowable cost, and it will come back. And if you're unsure, please go in and make the changes now, because I think it would be much easier if you check that out now than for us to find it after the fact. So, just keep an eye on that. I also wanted to mention, if I'm needed for any reason, it's best to use the SASP@TAASA.org email. And the reason for that is that both Curtis and I see the SASP@TAASA.org emails. And so if you're having a technical issue, he will respond to that immediately. If it's another type of issue, I will respond to it, but it also helps hold the two of us accountable so that we aren't letting things slip through the cracks. So if I see something that I feel like Curtis should have responded to and I don't see a response from him, then I can always follow up and he can do the same to me. So that's the best email, but certainly if you use the other one, know that I will always CC the SASP@TAASA.org, because I actually love a paper trail. And I'm sure most of you love a paper trail, because if you've dealt with state offices before, frequently they're like, pick up the phone and call us. And the cynical part of me thought, oh, that's probably because they don't want a paper trail. But I think the paper trail protects you. So feel free to email. I do check my email very frequently. In fact, a lot of you will probably see I tend to answer emails at 10 o'clock at night and on the weekends and that type of thing. I do want to give you my cell phone number, so if it's something you need more quickly, that you can feel free to call that, which is 512-785-8645. It often does go to voicemail, but I do check it frequently. So, please know. Also remember, I'm contract, so I don't have regular business hours. So, I'm not going to be always available to pick up that phone Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But I will check my voicemails and my emails regularly and get back to you as soon as I can. And if I'm ever someplace where I can't, like I'm on vacation or I'm someplace without cell coverage or whatever, I will leave an auto reply that directs you someplace for assistance. So I will not be leaving you high and dry where you can't get a response from someone. The only other thing I wanted to mention prior to turning this over to Curtis is to remember that your SASP annual report that I sent something out to you a week or so ago is going to be due by Tuesday. I believe we only have 2 of them in so far, but you still do have a week to get it in. I just wanted to remind you so that you're not late. And if you have any questions or you need me to resend that email that had a copy of the report template, I'm happy to do that. All right, are there any questions? Okay, well,
Does not appear so.
okay, Carla. No, did they ever say why so long? No, Rose, you might be able to answer this. I mean, I got the impression that most of the time it was a holdup with the feds, but obviously the holdup now is somewhere at the state level, because if they got the money for the first one, they have it for the second one. So
yeah, as far as I can tell, so from the conversations that I've had with them, it is definitely at a standstill. It's the process in which they do the approval. I know that that they have like all the grants, you have your different departments who go through and approve, and then it gets funneled into this one department to sign off on the awards. And that's what I've gathered, that is the problem right now. But again, they have, approved that one, and we are advocating fiercely for that other to get approved, because we're ready to get this money out. With everything going on right now, it's a priority for us to make sure this money. But yeah, I'm trying to figure. I mean, that's what I've gathered. I can't say with 100% certainty that what the problem is over there, but that's what I've gathered. So yeah, it's just it's frustrating.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to get even more aggressive, because when the holdup is at the federal level, our influence is a little bit more limited, but certainly I think Rose can be a thorn in their side to make sure that this happens soon. And then Elaine also asked if this grant will be in eGrants, and no, it won't be. In fact, Curtis will show you as soon as we finish talking how to access the system and how that's going to work for you. Any more? Okay, well, I think I'm going to turn it over to Curtis, and if you think of any questions, prior to the end of the call, just put them up on the group chat, and we'll get to them before we get off the call. And if you think of those later, definitely drop me an email. I'd like to be as accessible as possible. Go ahead, Curtis.
Cool. Okay. Can you all see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right. You're going to be using this address, and after this is over, we have a cheat sheet that I created that will send out to everybody. So feel free to zone out on this part, because you'll be able to just follow along on my little guide later.
And Curtis, I just wanted to say, you're saying if you're not sure of your grantee ID number, you can have a new one issued. I have a list of their grantee ID numbers too, so I could send them a new email if this happens, like right now they don't know it, kind of thing.
Okay.
Oh, also, Bonnie can't see the screen. Okay, so can y'all let us know if you can see the screen right now? What's on the screen? Oh, she can see it. Okay, awesome. Good. Voice of Hope. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Okay.
Okay. All right. So this address will never change, so feel free to bookmark it. Up here at the top, it's Farm Assembly. And once you get to this page, you'll put in your grant ID, which you all have. This is my test one. It shows me where the grant started, when it ends, how much was given, how much I still have available. Here's your budget items. And this is where you'll come down to submit a request for reimbursement. And a lot of you will have a lot more than my little two. Any proposed budget changes that you need to make are going to be here on this page. If you need to change your grant officials, you can do it here. But again, you'll want to email us to let us know that you did. I don't believe that we get any kind of information that says you changed it, or at least Annette doesn't. All right, so if you need to edit your grant officials, you come down to the bottom, just hit edit grant officials, hit next. And then make the changes, save it. And it would have changed it. If you need to edit any of your budget items, you use that option. And if you need to upload us any of the information, then you'll do the upload additional documents. And this is where you'll send us in your travel and all that stuff that we request. All right, now the fun stuff is request for reimbursement. So let's say I need some of my $37,000. And you can also see exactly how much you previously requested down here. All right, I have 37,000 left over. I want 1,500 because I travel a lot.
Curtis is also going to give you a cheat sheet to help you remember this.
All right, as soon as you do a request, it sends an email to myself, and then I can forward it to the people that make the decisions. All right, so now it shows that I did the request for 1,500. It's pending. There's other ones pending because I never approved it. But I do like the fact that you see what you requested previously. All right, this one I want 750. Now, since this one's contractual and professional, you do need to upload contract invoice. If that's not correct, we can always change that. But I'm assuming it is right now.
Yeah, you're right, and I didn't mention that, so thank you.
Yeah, so that one we actually would need to upload something. All right, now if we go and look at the request for reimbursement, shows that one's pending. And then that'll be over in our actual Salesforce where we can approve or deny or request more information, and then it'll let you know what happened with that. So let me see, is there anything else I'm forgetting on this page?
Someone asked about a budget adjustment, like if you could go through step by step if they need to make a change to the budget, you know, for whatever reason.
Edit budget items.
In particular, personnel and salary reimbursement.
I don't have those on my test one, but let's do a change here.
Is it the same process though? Is that right, Curtis?
Yes, it should be. So yeah.
Just the explanation might be different, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, let me go back to here. You go down to edit budget item. And let's say, okay, I currently have 18,000 on that one, but I want 20,000. Great employee.
Please know that a great employee note would never make me approve that.
Uh-oh, can't see the remaining budget. I need to
So you would have to take the amount away from the other one. It's like similar to e-grants.
Oh,
You
okay.
have 2,000 total, and as long as the total stays 10,000, the line items can switch in between, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, it's still saying it can't exceed the remaining. I need to get Bria to look at that.
Mm.
All right, we'll definitely get it. But if you did need to add something new, let's say we want to do 2,000 of something else. Sorry for my typing. I broke my right arm the other day. Local track. Oh, sorry. Nothing goes there. Good.
Rose, did Finian want the timesheets and pay stubs?
I don't believe so. I'll double check on that, but I think we just need the hours.
Yeah, I think the timesheets and the backup for Fringe was one of those things we would spot check.
Yeah, spot check. Yeah, I don't believe. I'll double check it. I'll send an email, Annette, to you to send out.
Okay.
Just to make sure everybody has the same information.
Yeah, I'll need to get with our designer and make sure that this actually works before I. Yeah, it's saying it can't exceed the remaining balance, but.
I know we feel like substitute teachers, like learning learning this the day before you learn it.
All right, but most of this, I know the requests work properly. Let me go back here to the actual page. All right. And also, once you do log in, you can save this where it has your grant ID and all that, and then you'll never have to see that other login page again, because this will never change based on what your grant ID is. Look at all these proposed budget changes. That's not good. All right, yeah, we'll definitely get that looked into.
So Curtis, someone had a question about once it's fixed and they are able to make that budget adjustment, is there a way to print out what's current?
You mean from like this page?
I guess just so they once it's approved that they have record of what that new budget is after the budget adjustment.
They could do it from this page on the request for reimbursement and just print it from there. Or I can see if we have something nicer looking in Salesforce that we can send them.
Okay.
But yeah, this isn't that pretty looking if you try to print it out.
Okay.
We also realize there's a learning curve involved in a new system like this. So, please don't please don't hesitate to call Curtis. Don't just try to tough it out. He's actually one of the most patient and accommodating IT people. So, he's not going to mind if you call. There's no dumb questions, because believe me, I've asked plenty of questions. That's at least what he says to my face. So he'll be very nice to you.
And again, I apologize for this piece. I know that we went through this internally and we had it fixed. So I'm not sure why I thought it was fixed. So Greer is our Salesforce builder. So we'll get with her to make sure that the budget adjustment process is fixed. because I imagine that that's going to be happening real soon. And until then, just keep in close contact. If you have a question about that or you want to change something, as Annette mentioned, let Curtis know. Email SASP at TAASA.org, and we're going to walk you through that. But our priority, as soon as this is done, is to get with Greer to fix that so that you all can make sure to make those changes and have all of your information current.
All right. If you do go in to log in and you don't see anything on this for the financial status report section, that means we haven't approved you yet because we haven't gotten your forms. And like you said, there's 3 that we haven't gotten anything from yet. So 3 of y'all might not see anything in there until you get your forms to us, and then we'll approve the budget and everything will be awesome.
And then Cindy has a question. She said, if there are several line items in one budget category, do you total all these and submit the request for one combined total in each budget category? The answer is yes. Cindy, any kind of explanation, like if you're only doing one of the line items that you're asking for revision in that budget category, it should be explained in the notes so that we know how come it all adds up a certain way. But the answer is yes. So Curtis, the question is, can you print a report that states what you have requested each month?
I'm positive we'd be able to do something like that through Salesforce. If you'd like, we can set it up that at a certain point, we'll email it to you. I think we can run the report and on the 15th or something and email it to you, or would y'all prefer to be able to do it yourself?
Okay, they want to be able to print it themselves.
All right.
That's what Lubbock answered.
All right, the best way then, until we have our Salesforce communities going, would just be printing it from your request for reimbursement history down here. So that would be here on this page, just hit the submit a request for reimbursement and then print down here. Print the whole thing, probably save it as PDF, and yeah, that would be your best bet. Until we have communities, but that's not probably going to be until the next cycle.
So Curtis, the previous request for budget items won't just show your last one. Like if you had more, they would all be on there?
Yes, all of them will be on there.
Okay. So we'll be emailing you out a kind of a cheat sheet that walks you through that, where he has screenshots of what he's just shown you. But we're also very aware that you might need to look at the recording again. You may need to call or email either one of us or whatever. Again, don't try to tough it out alone. We will definitely walk you through this. And, if you need to ask the same question several times, don't hesitate to do that. Are there any other questions? So Curtis, can we send out an email as soon as Greer gets that piece fixed?
You could send it now, since I don't think too many people are going to need to do the budget adjustment yet. And if they do, we can just unlock their application and send it back to them.
Okay, perfect. So did everybody hear that there's a way around this until it's fixed? Can you repeat that?
Yes, if you do need to make a budget adjustment right now, just let us know and we'll unlock your application and send it back to you, or you can tell us exactly what you need to change and we can change it for you. It's up to you. But it's not difficult for me to go into your application and change your numbers around, as long as you tell me exactly where they need to come from and go to.
By telling, we mean in writing.
Yes.
Because we want that paper trail to protect you.
And so the award letters will be out just as soon as we get that award. I called this morning. My goal is to call again as soon as we get off this call until it's awarded. And as soon as it's awarded, you'll then receive letters from us and a document, a letter and a document that you are to sign, and that will execute the contract, and then you can start this FSR process. And we're the SASP team is here on hand to answer any questions to get you through that FSR process, so that you can submit for all those months and then get reimbursed. Again, we've worked with our bank, and we have the ACH system where it's going to be directly deposited into the accounts that you gave us. So as soon as they're awarded, the ball will roll, and we'll get that out to you. So, yeah, just wanted to let you all know that.
Okay.
Like Annette said, don't be afraid to contact me. There's no such thing as a stupid question when it comes to anything like this. And I'm an extremely patient person. So, like, I'm not going to yell at you, and we're not going to gossip about it because you don't understand something. I understand, my main goal here is to get y'all paid and, not make you feel bad about needing help. So, I'm here for y'all, no matter what.
And Cindy asked whether they need to submit several FSRs for each month or one for October through December. And unfortunately, I did ask the accountant folks, and they said they need one for each month. Sorry. All right. Well, thanks to everybody, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you. And drop me an email if you come up with any questions after you get off the call. Curtis, you'll send something out telling them how to access the recording, and you will also send them a copy of the cheat sheet. Is that right?
Would you be able to send the cheat sheet since I sent it to you? I think.
Yeah, I absolutely can do that. I'll do that as soon as we get off the call.
Cool. Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.